You can call it a game, but I call it escape. Building generals to stomp your face like Scipio, Simi, and the Great William.
Hey everybody, welcome to EvonyBites. We're going to go ahead and get into the new account again here real quick because I just wanted to update since the last video on the new server. I don't know how many days ago that was, maybe 5 or something. Anyway, we have got, sorry, I'm a little distracted. There's throne going on and not everybody agrees with our choice of having the throne. In fact, it seems no one does. So I'm keeping an eye on that. There's been a little bit of activity. You can see going through here. You know, anybody that touches throne, I go ahead and attack them, and then because they really shouldn't be doing it, I go ahead and attack their R5 as well. Let's look at a couple things. What were we able to do in the last 5 days? New server. I think we're 9 days or something. I don't know. Let's take a look. All right, VIP 11 days. Okay, we're on 11 days. All right, I think we were on day 3 in the last video, so it puts us at 8 or 9 more days. So another week plus. All right, in that week, what have we been able to do? We see we got the power up to 368, but what specifically were we able to do? What did we get into here? Well, I went ahead. This general is very interesting, by the way. Let's just take a look at this guy. Reduces enemy ground troops and mounted troops defense and HP by 15% and increases your in-city range troops and siege machine attack by 35% in the bunker. Man, that guy's awesome, by the way. It was a good score. All right, so I'm still rocking Boudica on assist, and I'm still got my weird-ass Godfrey of Chicken of Bullion going on the wall. I'm going to stick with him on the wall. I really like him. You can see I've got 3 Civ pieces on. I already started the whatever you freak you call it, amplifying, and got 1 star on there on the helmet. Anyway, I've got some alright, okay, you know, refines already built in on those Civ gears. Look, since I focused on defense, as you guys know by now, this is where I put all my beef when I'm growing things. Now, if you're an attack player, that's where you're going to put all your beef. Whatever you're focused on, that's what you need to make the strongest. And I probably won't really take too many defense, but that doesn't matter. I'm trying to get ahead of the curve here. When we have server war and battlefields and all that, I want to be able to sit and do anything that I want to do. So now I've created an attack march that I can send that out, at least for archers, and still have a defense sitting at home. That's kind of my first goal. So I can march and attack you while still having everything I need at home to defend, because usually you get a good defense up, but then when you march a whole wave, people think you're vulnerable because that whole wave's out. Well, if you just compensate for that wave in your defense as if it's not even there, then you can attack anytime you want and still defend. Anyway, I went in deep on my defense general here. Working on that save gear going. I have the Scorpion on him, which I hate. I kind of went back and forth with putting the Red Dragon on him because I usually do that. I just like using it for defense. But to be honest, I'm so far ahead on my defense, I don't need to worry about the dragon. I lack a little more in attack, so I went ahead and put it appropriately on my attack general, which at this point is Charles. And I just got the dragon set on him. He's coming along. Have I got anything I can add? No, I don't want none of that. Trying to get those books filled out on him, and I haven't quite got there. Still using Matthias as my assist with Charles there. I've got those two sitting in the throne. I've chosen to go with Moo here on Siege. I've barely done anything. I'm using some hand-me-down gear and such, but I've got the purple dragon on her. I always go with perp for the siege and use Phasalt dragon, pink dragon on Cav, or you can use the other rainbow, colorful one, the little unicorn-looking one on your Cav as well. And everyone who watches my channel knows, personally, I don't care about Cav, so that general's better used there. I'm Scipio. I've just been throwing some gear that I win here and there, get on events and stuff on to him. In the meantime, I run rallies with him right now with ground, but he'll be either assist or main ground. I haven't decided on that yet. I think I'll make Mordred my Cav gen. I've just always liked the guy. Like his damn name. He looks awesome. His stats are great. I think I might go with Mordred. This guy, I really don't just like him as much. I can't even say that name. Hi, Varman. Hiya Varmin. Look, man, I'll just let one of you that really knows what that says correct me and tell me what that is. But, I mean, he's got pretty sweet stats, dude. I'm certainly not upset about his stats. This guy, not as cool. You know, this guy's pretty cool. Am I basing it on that? Yeah, because it's Cav and I don't give a shit. You know, I use Aurelian on my other account, as you guys have seen, for ground, and I really do like him, but he's hard to get. I think I've only got 1, maybe 2 stars on him on the other account, which I kind of hate about that. But you can see that, yeah, Mr. Whole Pyrrhus over here, he's not bad for ground, and I got a number of them. Got some good ground choices. Here's Mordred again. Okay, see Aurelian. See, that's the thing. I'm getting a decent amount of Aurelians this time, so I don't know. I haven't decided on ground what I'm going to do there. I will decide. Troop composition. This is how I build up first. Now I've got a march in the throne, so you can see some of my troops gone here, but this is kind of what I have going. Just opened up T13 archers, I think today or yesterday, so got a supplement of those, 855,000. Everything else I'll try to stack up over here. You'll see resemblances in my other account, although I start a little more archer heavy and archer high at first because they're just super effective. You don't really need to deviate into other troops, and certainly not until you've got the tech and all that to back them. All right, get my layers down pretty base here. I'm just kind of barely working those up, and of course, since I don't keep Cav, same tactic I use on my other account, I don't run a T1 trap, I don't run a T1 account, but I supplement T1 in a full defense, and I supplement those T1 because I don't use any other Cav. Since I don't use other Cav, I'm a little prone to ground, but if you pack those T1 in there, even if you don't lean on them or use them for your defense, done correctly of course, then they do a good job of pounding the ground out of your way, and you don't really have to worry about that. And I've got 10 million here so far. And again, you see, I thought I was prone to ground at first because all I had was a bunch of archers. Still maybe prone to ground, not really now. But I did have a higher set of traps there. Champion, I still only have Helen. I've not messed with anyone else, but I do have Helen on 10. Obviously, she's hard. Any of these champions are hard to push up. It's not like you can just do it. But if you're in a position, just do it. And when you get there eventually, I did it fast, but when you get there eventually, so worth pumping into her when you can pay attention to it. Anytime you have choices to choose things, consider strongly choosing the items it takes to up these champions because these buffs get really nice. What's total power? You know, when you're coming from a big account, it's cute. It looks really funny, but 3.7 million is what I've been able to get there. I run a similar defense gear setup here. You guys have, this is my defense setup. You guys have seen this on my other account. I always sort of tend to run the same, a mix of ground, archer, and siege on attack. It's actually defense and HP is switched on my other account just because I ended up with such high pieces with those particular sets that I just reversed them. But really, if I have a choice to build it from scratch, I would like to have the ground HP, the archer defense, and the siege attack. That's what really complements my defense best, a mix. For a lot of you, when you're growing slower and only have one main troop you're leaning on for the most part, it's probably not as wise to mix them like that. Certainly for attacking. But, you know, I keep a different set over here for attacking. I can switch over to archer. Well, for some reason it didn't change. Well, that's just bizarre. Okay, but I have, you know, this 8 right here for ground, 7 for archer attack. So I don't know what happened to our presets that got messed up, but I will go ahead and put that one on for attack. Anyways, let's get into this tech. I'm going to show you what I focus on. Again, it's going to look a lot like my Timu. It's going to look a lot like my other account and what I focus on, meaning I do not mess with advancement, and I do not suggest you do that. For most people, you should smash out this advancement. You can see I've barely done it. It's like a K7 in here. It really, that's being generous. I don't do that because I don't need it initially. When I get it done with all the other tech, I come back and fill that in as a supplement. Defense, I always stack out, and I've obviously stacked this one out. Other than traps, I have not maxed that yet because just traps aren't that effective for me yet. That's for another video. But I did max everything else out in defense. Same with attack. I went ahead and maxed everything out other than, you know, a couple conscription and a few other things, but otherwise, obviously, military's got to be maxed. I went in here and did some on medical aid, but really not much. This is, again, not smart. You should do stuff in medical aid, and I definitely will get in here and do this pretty quick by battlefields and server war and all that. I'll have this done. There's, to me, two pathways. This is the more achievable one. This is what you should focus on. That is the medical aid. But for me, the other option B is let my troops be my hospital, and that is just don't die. You know what I mean? Kick the crap out of them so I don't really have wounded. And so I don't really worry about that initially. Alliance, that's embarrassing. I've literally done nothing. Okay, because I don't care. Subsidy, I do some. I mean, I want my subsidy troops to stay alive, so I like to boost some of that and get it all open. So I did some of the survival, but really I wanted this right here. Each subordinate city increases the troop attack when defending main city. That's your main city attack, main city HP, and main city defense. Even though it's under subcategory, this adds it to your main city, so you want that. You definitely want to go down and get those puppies cracked open. In recovery, I mean, it's helpful. This should be done. Again, this is sort of the same as medical. You should do this. For in-server war, if you're fighting inside of your server, this is really the only way to save your ass. So you should beef this up a little bit. I went and did some just so I can spare some troops in there. But again, my method is my troops are my shrine. Advanced military, I still have some to do in here. This is a tough one to push up to level 33. I do have my academy on 33, K33. And it's, it takes some pushing to get this one up there. It's not exactly just, flick it in the nose and it falls over. But I'm giving it heck here. These are some debuffs, of trying to push those up. But mostly I'm trying to get my attacks, HPs, and defense on my troops, whether marching or in city, up really high right now. And you can see I'm working on that siege. But, I have a lot of this up. A lot of it as high as I can go. This is as far down as I can go. So I lean heavily on military advanced tech. And then, of course, when you open defense advance, it doesn't give you very much at first. But I go in and just instantly do the little bit that it gives you, which is just that right there to level 4. But certainly, I go in and do those. Those are vital. This council estate, I've had a few people ask me where to use the twigs, if that's even what they're called. That's what everybody calls them. This thing right here, Merit Jade. Yeah, Merit Jade. You go in here and use this. For this, you can see here the buffs that it's giving me for level 11 that I'm on. When I go to 12, it'll up my marching ground troop to 36 from 33. I'll go ahead and do that now. I'll show you. It takes 260. I have 270. Just upgrade that. See? Now it's on level 12. And you can assign a general in here too, but I don't happen to have one that's viable at this moment. I think I'm going to use Peter the Great. He's not a very good ground general, and I'm going to use him to run that. I think I do that on my other account. He's a good little sack of shit to run that. The Alliance got up to 1.4 billion. That's nice. Let's go out here to world map. Okay. We're messing with drones still. Doesn't look like any action. Let me just check on that. Nope. Running rallies. Boring. Oh, yeah, looks like some drama there. Oh boy, yeah. It's classic world chat there. Good times. Alright, so this is my R5 right here. She's the one holding throne. She's also the one who's going to have throne, queenship, if you will. For those who don't know, real quick, throne is the thing in the center of the map. Right? If we go out here to map view, this big old giant gargantuan thing, that's throne in the middle. Every Saturday, throne war happens. Throne war does not mean people fight over it necessarily. We kind of did today. But throne war just means it's open for anyone to take during a certain period. When you take it, you've got to hold it for so many hours. You see we've got 3 hours, 16 minutes left here. This little building down below that D is holding, this takes time down. Every time one of these little blocks fills blue, it'll knock some time off that hold. But you've got to hold it the entire period and defend it if anyone happens to come for it, or these buildings around it. If you can hold it the whole time, then the R5 of the holding alliance becomes queen or king. Right now, Dia, which is our R5, is R5. So by default, she'll get it. But even if I was holding it or someone else was, and we conquered it the whole time, she would still become queen. Because she's in R5 position. If you want someone else to be king or queen in your alliance, you've got to give them R5 during throne. That's not the same for enemy throne, but we'll get into that later. Once she gets that, she can assign titles and give out gifts. Now, troops we got in it. Dia's sitting in there. She's got Subutai and a nice, decent amount. Remember, we're in day 11, so this is a pretty decent amount of T12 she's got sitting in there. She started in there first. I was late. I was busy today. I've got my march in there, you can see, and I split it between T12 and T13, even though I have a lot of T13. That's because I wanted to split my defense as well and leave T13 and T12 home. And this way, I'm kind of short up in both places. I'm not making myself vulnerable marching or defending. And again, it's day 11, so we're quite far ahead. I don't have to worry too much in here. And then it looks like, pardon me for saying this, YouTube, don't get upset at me. Titty is sorry, I'm distracted. Has got Louis there going, hey, I like Louis. Yeah, it's good looking gin and nice gin. And got chicken bouillon down there in assist. Nice. And got, ooh, wow. He's got some T13 going as well. That's impressive. Way to go, TD. And congrats on K33, by the way. All right, everybody's layered up. Everything's looking really good. You always want to have these layers in here. If you need to stop and pause and study these marches that are in here, please do so. You always want to have these layers in here, all of them. I think we'll get into that troop composition in marches here pretty soon. But you can see we've all got them. Anyway, nobody's beating that. Not on day 11. It's not happening. Okay, I just wanted to step in, show you guys what's up. See where we are in the server. Let you guys get a look at a few things. This is just a little bit update on the new server situation. You can see what kind of generals people have going so far. There's some interesting ones there. You know, it really is. Anyway, everybody's doing good. And then Monarch Power. Cobra here's my buddy. I really like that dude a lot. I haven't really talked to anybody up in there too much. Black Widow's on my team. My buddy Dia, of course, RR5. Mr. Anderson, shout out, buddy. And Huncho Capt, whatever your name is. I've been watching you, bud. You're spending a lot of money. Yeah, get after it. Sausage Party, sweet ass name. Aussie Queen. Unfortunately, I did some damage on her during KE. Let's see if we can take a look at that. Hey, man, look, her bubble was down. She's kind of a fatty. Couldn't help it. Isn't that not weird? You guys have seen these reports before. Cyber, look at that. This is actually from my other account. I have no idea why it's on this account. Why it shows them there. It's quite weird. Is Aussie Queen in here? Wow, I must have lost that report. Well, I was going to show you that fat 0. But it's nowhere to be found. I got to get used to this this new bookmarks page they gave us here. Right here. It was this person right here. Hey, shout out to you if you're watching the video. Sorry about that 0. Hey, first KE and you were down. Looks like you're coming back a little bit. That's nice. Congrats on K30. All right, I did manage to land a nice city that's got a nice buff, marching siege, machine attack. I didn't really like this city. It didn't have the greatest buff options, but hey, you know, don't complain. I'm happy to have it. All right, guys, this was just a little check-in. Hopefully, I was hoping there'd be some action for Throne War, but I thought we would check in and see where we've got and what we've done. And I'm going to come in here and start doing some little tutorial guides on how I did some of this stuff and how we do it now that I've kind of gotten to this point here. We'll slow down and take a look at things. Well, thanks for checking in, guys. We'll see you next time. Remember, EvonyBites out. But I don't care, I don't mind, I'm not scared, I'm here by design.